What is up, guys? It's Dan the Man, and today I'm back with round 3 of the August Action Tournament held here at Chess Zone. And as of round 3, I have a score of 1.5 out of 2. Pretty solid start to the tournament, drawing round 1 and securing a victory in round 2 against Jairaj Desai. And we're going up the rating ladder. Opponent number 3, whose name is Tom Kayma. Someone I don't really know that well. I haven't seen his name very often, but he boasts a rating of 2019, so clearly a strong player, and he's a seasoned player of the game, so I knew this would be a challenge, and also I would be on board 1, so you guys can see the clocks there on the screen, an additional bonus there for you guys, so I don't have to verbally say the timestamps, you can see them throughout. But this game was pretty quick, and you'll see why. So let's just go and jump straight into the action here. So Tom plays e4, e5, and the game actually starts the exact same way as the game against Arturo in the first game. We get the exact same opening, but instead of castling, which is what I've seen almost all the time, or maybe maybe d3 to defend the pawn on e4, Tom gets aggressive. He plays this move d4, which is very direct. It essentially forces black to react because you can't allow white to capture on e5 or push to d5. You're sort of forcing black to make a limited number of choices since white is already being provocative in the position here. So after d4, the engine recommends just being solid, playing d6, but I thought this would just lose a pawn because I thought Tom could trade in the center, then trade queens, and I don't want to have my king be on the d file, so knight takes, and I'm like, okay, he's just going to win this pawn, right? But I probably should have looked a little bit further down the road, but because this pawn loss is only temporary, I can very easily deal with white's knight on e5, playing bishop d6, and once the knight retreats, I can just take the pawn, and life is good. So that's what I should have done, and that was what I will keep in the back of my mind if I ever see this again. But instead, I think I played the more natural move, which is taking on d4. And here, Tom gambits a second pawn. He plays castles. And I usually say that taking on e4 in these types of positions is very dangerous because you're just inviting stuff to get pinned on the e-file. Your king is still in the middle. It's generally not recommended to take center pawns if you're not castled yet. But in this particular instance, I guess I can get away with it, although it's not the greatest move. But I have to play very accurately just to stay in the game. So after rook e1, which is the obvious follow-up, I'd have to go d5 to solidify the knight. Then Tom could get crazy and play the move knight c3. And I can't really afford to take that knight because the d5 pawn would fall and my position would just collapse. So I'm forced to give back the pawns, play bishop e6, block the file, and defend d5. And in which case, Tom could just trade, and then trade on take on e4 again. And then after bishop e7, life would go on. And although I'm slightly worse, the game still has to be played to completion, and it's not like Tom has a steady advantage. But I think I mix up a line or two of the Ruy Lopez. I played bishop e7, which is a line in something called the Nyholm attack, but I think that is when you play knight f6 instead of a6 on move 3. So yeah, I think I mix it up with the Nyholm attack, which I've seen before. And this wasn't it. I just mixed up a sideline. And after bishop e7, I'm already much worse in this game because although I'm closing down the e-file, I'm not stopping him from playing e5 and just booting my knight around. But I thought it was fine because, I would go knight e4. I was probably wanting to go knight c5 or castle, and the game would continue normally. Now here's a trap that I'm sure Tom would saw it, but for those of you that aren't aware of this, uh, knight takes d4 looks like a very natural move to recover the pawn, but this is something called the Noah's Ark trap. This isn't, I think, the exact line, but it's pretty close. Knight takes d4 falls into the Noah's Ark trap because after takes and takes, suddenly c5, and I gain tempo on the queen, and next move I'm going to imprison that bishop on b3 with c4, and it has to give itself up for a pawn, which is a common motif in Ruy Lopez positions to fall victim to this. So, yeah, I was remotely thinking he would fall for it, but he's obviously too strong for that. So after knight e4, he did not go into the Noah's Ark line. He played bishop d5, and a very annoying move, the only move to still maintain the advantage. He attacks the knight again, and also pins my knight, which defends the center pawn. So I have to obviously save my knight on by going to c5, but then he just takes. Now he's not down any material, and now he has some pressure building on the knight on c6. And I'm obligated to defend it with bishop to b7. I don't really have many other choices. And next he plays knight f5. Very, again, the only good move in the position. And the thing is that knight is very annoying. He's threatening knight takes g7 check, which would forbid me from castling. And you might say, Dan the man, why can't you just castle normally? Well, I was thinking about that, but I was worried about queen g4, and checkmate is kind of hard to stop on g7. The only real reply is g6, but then I was worried about bishop h6, and look at all these pieces around my king. Bishop on d5, the bishop on h6, the knight on f5, the queen on g4. This looked very grim for me, and I did not want to go into this line, so I abstained from castling and chose probably the worst move, bishop f8. It's pretty sad for me to just undevelop like this. And now he's just having all sorts of fun. He plays the move rook e1, lining up on my king, potentially. I played g6, and hoping the knight would go back, in which case I would probably play bishop g7 and castle. But he didn't. He plays knight h6, which sinks the knight into that very powerful square. He's threatening to take on f7, and if I were to take his knight, then after the bishop takes, my dark squares are super, super delicate, and I did not want to see the bishop just go to g7 and bishop f6. That just looked lights out for me. So I decided to block the bishop with knight e6. Here he plays knight c3. He's in no rush to do anything immediate. He can improve other aspects of the position. Bishop g7, and now he plays a4, trying to attack on the queen side. I play b4, kicking the knight, but I'm inviting the knight to the center, although b4 I didn't really have many other choices. The knight hops to the middle of the board. Knight f6 is now on the horizon after maybe white would play queen f3 or something. And here, virtually any logical-looking move doesn't help my position at all. So I thought, okay, maybe I should just trade off pieces. That way, if I trade off his powerful bishop, then maybe I won't get mated as quickly or as easily. But by doing this, he now plays the move queen f3, and it's true I've traded an attacking piece, but that does not help mitigate the damage on my position here. So queen f3, threatening mate in 1, and that stupid knight on h6 is preventing me from castling because I will be castling into check. Notice he's actually thinking more than me, but still playing very accurate moves. He's down by 11 minutes. So I have to play this very depressing move, rook f8, and now I can't castle one way. And castling queenside would just look atrocious because I already pushed my b-pawn that far, and it's just super open side of the board. And Tom is just totally winning here out of the late opening and early middle game, simply because I just didn't know what to do after d4. So I'm just emphasizing how important it is to know these obscure sidelines and how your opponent can get a quick victory if you're not prepared. So Tom just keeps applying the pressure. Knight g4. Now, he's reinforcing knight f6 because he's having more defenders on that square. So I play queen b8 for two reasons. Number one is so my king can escape to the right if it needs to. And number two is that if the white knight on e4 would play knight f6, the queen would be attacking the b7 knight. But by playing queen b8, I at least defend that knight, so I don't lose even more material. He plays knight on g to f6. I take it, and then he plays knight f6. And again, the queen's defending the knight on b7, so I thought this would prevent losing material. King d8, rook d1, threatening the pawn on d7. I try to hold on by a thread by playing knight on b to c5, although my efforts are pretty much fruitless here because he is still dominating this game. He plays knight takes h7, hitting the rook, rook e8. He grabs the pawn on f7, and there's not a lot I can do here. I'm just totally busted. I play queen b7, just sort of waiting. He plays knight f6, triple attacking the d-pawn, hitting the rook, and I thought I actually have to either give up the rook or do something else that loses material. I just sort of resign in a way. I play rook e7, and he plays queen g8. And in this position, I resign because I know it's going to be mate after I block with the knight and the rook, and I went down pretty fast in this game, and only 26 moves. And yeah, this game was just one-sided, totally one-sided. It wasn't even a contest, essentially. It was, and if we take a look at the accuracy, Tom just played a flawless game, in my opinion. 95.2, and I had 77.7. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I just didn't know what to do after d4. That's all I can say. And this is what happens. So either I should stop playing a6 on move 3, or I should play d6 instead of taking on d4. I probably will play Berlin next time because I don't want to lose this fast again. But yeah, it's helpful to know that d6 is the right move in the future. And yeah, we lose pretty painfully in this game. But we still have one more round left, and I'll be sure to post that game soon. So stay tuned for that. And if you like content like this, please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button and let me know what you thought. And yeah, have a great rest of your day or night. Bye.